This is the way you usually watch a movie on TV. But what would you say if we told you that part of the picture is missing? There's nothing wrong with your TV. What you see is called letterboxing, a technology that makes the movie image look about the size of a letter in a number 10 business envelope. What you get is more picture than ever before.
I think that that's one of the benefits of letterboxing, is that you're going to see it as it was originally intended to be.
I think people have a kind of a knee-jerk reaction that, geez, my TV got smaller or something, or there's something wrong with my TV. What I would say is relax, just take a second, you know, don't turn the channel right away. And these are all good movies, and better seen this way. And look at what you see on those edges. Some nice stuff.
Sure, with Letterbox, the picture may look smaller, but you're not getting less. You're really seeing more. Why? Ask these well-known movie directors and they'll tell you.
Practically every film I've made, I wanted to do widescreen. But I was not able to because I knew that by the time it got to television, it would never be shown in the right way.
To me, it's no difference than changing a performance of an actor. It's all part of the makeup of a scene. And any aspect of it that's changed is not my vision, so it's somebody else's vision. So in that case, they shouldn't really either credit or blame me for the film.
I'm a purist in that regard. I mean, I believe that any work that's been created should be preserved as best it can in its original state.
In the 50s and 60s, before the era of the VCR, staying home and watching TV became a national habit. Hollywood fought to get viewers back in the movie theaters with new widescreen formats like CinemaScope and Cinerama, where 3 projectors created an ultra-widescreen look. When these blockbusters finally made it to the small screen, TV had the last laugh. Any widescreen movie loses a third or more of its image in the confines of your TV picture tube.
It's a little bit like reading the book and say, well, we're going to take 25% of this book away here because it was too thick.
A case in point, How the West Was Won.
How the West Was Won, I remember seeing as a kid. I think to try to watch that without doing a letterbox is almost to be watching, you know, only part of the West. So
that what happens when it gets onto television, without letterboxing, you're only going into maybe half that frame. You're only seeing half the image. And very often you see a person on the right side of the frame talking to no one else.
But letterboxing gives you back a lot of that image. In this scene, instead of Carl Malden talking to no one in particular,
well, and so help me, the bucket was full of rocks. Rocks!
You get to see who's listening. And this scene goes from being a joyride to a full-scale attack.
One of my favorite films of all time was How the West Was Won. I've tried to watch it on TV since then, and it's just, I can't really watch it because the recollection of that experience, all these incredible images. And then when I was getting ready to do Far and Away, I got How the West Was Won and screened it. And, you know, it's really great. It's just some great sequences and very exciting and beautifully composed and great acting.
Now, can you imagine watching the famous chariot race from Ben-Hur any other way?
And what happens is when you don't see it letterboxed, it becomes a blur. It becomes a blur of chariot wheels, horses' legs, heads, people. You don't see what they did. You're not doing justice to probably one of the greatest pieces of filmmaking in history.
Since then, widescreen has become the standard format for virtually every film made. And now with Letterbox, the Wild West world of Westworld gets even wilder. The desert vistas of The Wind and the Lion fill the screen from end to end.
Spider-Man played a little saxophone.
And now you get to see more of Elvis than ever before in Jailhouse Rock.
The famous Jailhouse Rock song has to be seen widescreen. And when we saw that when we were kids, and that widescreen was black and white at the time, it was extraordinary because you see the choreography.
So the next time you see a Letterbox movie on TNT, take a closer look, and you'll begin to see what you've been missing.
It's terrific because the movies can be experienced as they were intended to be. It makes good movies have a kind of lasting value like a good novel. That's something that really excites me as a filmmaker.
Don't miss an all-day festival of special Letterbox movie presentations, Sunday on TNT.